Okay, so now we're going to cover a couple other portions of the syllabus. For example, here it talks about outside activity hours. These include lecture, lab, clinic, externship, and practicum, which are not included in this course, so we don't have to worry about it. But some of your other courses will include that. Let's see. So your grade is going to be broken down into a few different categories, including homework and assignments, which make up 30% of your overall grade. Assessments, which can be both quizzes or exams, will make up 20% of your grade. Your project or portfolio makes up 30%, and then your discussion board, attendance, and class participation make up an additional 20%. It's important to note that not only do I take attendance for every class, but there's also an automatic attendance tracker that is keeping track of when you log in and for how long you log in and on which tasks. So if you see changes in your attendance, you can always check with me and make sure that I'm taking accurate attendance and making sure that I recognize when you're in class. Otherwise, that you might want to pay attention to when you're logging in and for how long. So, and then grading is normal. At 90% or above, you'll earn a letter grade of an A, and 80 to 89, you'll earn a letter grade of a B, whereas if you earn a 70 to a 79, you'll earn a C. 60 to 69, you're going to earn a letter grade of a D, and anything below 59 is an F. Alright, so homework and assignments. Homework will be identified in the course outline or communicated by the instructor. Assignment due dates will be established by the instructor, as well as the mode and form of submission. Assignments turned in after the scheduled due date for any reason may be assessed as a late credit by the instructor. Homework assignments that require outside participation to execute homework assignments will require outside preparation to execute activities in attainment of course objectives. So course objectives is another thing that we mention often throughout the syllabus. Okay, but the important thing, I'm going to cover those later on and explain exactly what the course objectives are, as they're different for each course. And what it is it is the set traits, characteristics, achievements that I'm telling the state, okay, this student is prepared and can do this task, and this task after completing this course. And I'll show you those in a second. Alright, so courses are designed to be both formative and summative in assessment forms, and they can be referred to as both quizzes or exams. Instructors can utilize announced or unannounced assessments, which would be similar to a pop quiz. I do not have any unannounced assessments, so you don't have to worry about that. I know that stresses some people out. But students will be expected to spend time outside of class studying the materials in preparation for any assessment, as well as time spent reviewing results in preparation for homework, class discussion, quizzes, or project assignments. So it's really important here to not only review any results of any tests that you've taken or exams, but also to make sure that you review all of the directions for all assignments prior to starting them. Okay, a lot of times I'll have students that are stressed out about something and they reach out to me, and I'm happy to go over things with them. But often a lot of the confusion can come or can be answered just in reading the directions, which it sounds silly, but we often get in such a rush that, you know, sometimes we kind of skip over the directions because we're like, okay, we got it. But then you have all these questions and you're like, crap, I don't want to start it the wrong way or this, that, and the other. So always reach out to me if you have any questions, but also know that you need to study the class material to prepare for different assignments. So the project requirements will be outlined in a separate set of instructions, and they will reflect the practical application of fundamental and principles that are discussed in the course. Projects may include library research as well as classroom and lab, externship, practicum, and other activities, and so forth. Okay. All right. Discussion, attendance, and class participation. We mentioned this earlier, we discussed this earlier, but a portion of your grade is going to be dependent on your class participation. And so this includes not only showing up to class, but participating in the discussion boards that are posted each week, and participating in classroom activities and discussions and exercises that we do in class. And there's a point to all of it. It's not just, to give you guys a bunch of tasks to complete. This is actually something that helps you to start thinking and being more involved in your future careers, right? So we want you to be able to start thinking in the mindset of how you would when you're actually in your new career, whether that be mechatronics or nursing or medical assisting or criminal justice, whatever the case may be. There's a purpose behind each and every one of our assignments and every portion of it. And just discussion, attendance, and class participation is one of those things that's really important. So the campus is committed to the principle that class attendance is an essential part of its educational programs, and its goal is to prepare students for the responsibilities of their chosen career fields. Regular class attendance is mandatory, and all attendance is recorded for every regularly scheduled class. All absences, late arrivals, and early departures are recorded, and they are counted as class time missed and become a part of the student's permanent record. No distinction is made between excused and unexcused absences. Failure to comply with the attendance policy can result in a failure to meet course competencies, suspension, or dismissal. So, while it states that no distinction is made between excused and unexcused absences, please reach out to me if you do have something serious going on, right? If somebody is sick or there's a car accident or something that's preventing you from coming to class, please reach out to me. I have no problem meeting with students outside of normal class time where we can make up the lecture or do something so that we don't have to count the absence against you. So while there's no distinction made between excused or unexcused absences, there are other options that can be done. All right, so let's see. So if a student does miss a class, you are required to make up all the time that was missed, right? And the student is responsible for all the material covered each day for which the student is registered. All right, so if you miss a class and you miss that content, that lecture, or whatever the case may be, please reach out to either me or a fellow student and definitely get that information so that you're not missing any content, okay? All right, so the makeup policy. All right, so the campus recognizes that there are certain circumstances and events which require students to miss class, resulting in the need for makeup work. Because Encore believes that the purpose of completing the work is to help a student learn and be successful, instructors are expected to work with students on the submission of makeup work. Students must initiate contact with the instructor to discuss makeup work in question. The student will work with the instructor on the new deadlines and any deductions that may result based off of the late work. Late deductions will not exceed 20% per assignment. Okay, so exams may only be made up with documented extenuating circumstances, and the deadline must be prior to the end of the term, or else the student must apply for an incomplete. Online modality assessments are considered normal makeup work, not exams for the purpose of this policy. So when we cover special needs, it's important to recognize what we consider special needs, right? So students in need of special accommodation should notify their director of education, which in our case is Miss Ann Carr, who's excellent. So a lot of times when we think about special accommodations, right, we're thinking about maybe like a wheelchair, or we're thinking about something else, right? But there is a huge plethora of options that the school can make adjustments for, and we would be happy to do so. Sometimes people have severe anxiety when they take tests. Other people, they just need longer to take the test, right? So the important thing is, if you feel that you need any type of special accommodations, it's important to reach out to the director of education. She'll be able to tell you all about our student disability accommodation process. And she'll be able to tell you what accommodations are available for you. And this keeps you from having to tell everybody on campus your business. What would happen is that your instructors would then get an email from the director of education just telling us the accommodations that we need to make for which students. It doesn't tell us why. We don't have to know why. We just make the adjustments. So if you're on the fence and you don't know, I'm sure Miss Ann Carr would be happy to further explain what type of accommodations we can make. So courses are scheduled on campus to accommodate classroom activity and time required to deliver the course content. Online meeting requirements will be posted in the online classroom. The syllabus reflects total hours required to meet the course objectives. Again, we'll cover course objectives in just a second. And the number of sessions and length of sessions may vary and should not be taken as a direct representation of days and weeks in the classroom. Time on task is identified for the various options utilized to deliver and assess the student's achievement of course objectives. These sessions represent a systematic delivery of course content with direction for faculty and students and logical delivery of materials covered.